Fabulous, right? This is our slouchy fleece fashion cap from last week's project, but look what happens when you add a pom-pom. So today I'm going to show you how we make our pom-poms. So let's get started. Let's make pom-poms. So what we need for this project is a hat to put our pom-pom on. And this one has a gathered top, which means there's a little bit of an opening that we can put a tab that we're going to sew into the pom-pom through. I'm using a compass to help me create a perfect circle template for my pom-pom. My pom-pom is about 5.5 inches in diameter, or about 14 centimeters in diameter. So the center point is about 2.75 inches or 73 millimeters. And I'll use some nice thick cotton thread. I think that's mercerized cotton, and the biggest needle that I have on hand to get that thread through, and a good quality high loft polyester fill, which you can get at any fabric store. You don't need much. A bag like that will probably make over 100 pom-poms. So also very important is the fur. You need a really nice high quality fur, and I prefer to do my shopping for fur in person because I've been disappointed so many times. So here, this strands on this fur are about 2 inches long or about 4 to 5 centimeters long. You want to feel like the fur has some substance, some body to it, and that's why it's important to shop for it in person. Now I'm going to use either a piece of ribbon or a piece of scrap fabric from the hat to make my tab, and I don't want it to be stretchy, so I'm going to cut a strip about 1/2 inch or 2 centimeters or 1.5 centimeters, something wide enough to maybe do a good loop with a sewing needle or with a safety pin, and about 3 inches long, folded in half. So now I'm going to use my chalk pencil and I'm going to trace around the template for my pom-pom. And this is important. I'm going to carefully snip away the knit backing of the faux fur. I'm using faux fur, but you can use real fur if you'd like. So with the faux fur, you have a knit backing, and I'm being very careful that I'm not cutting through any of the strands of fur. And I think this is a mistake that a lot of people make. So you want to be very careful. You're only cutting the knit backing. So I'm taking very, very small snips with my scissors. And it's so worth it to take your time doing this because the results will make that effort pay off. So carefully, 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 I'm going around my circle, just snipping away at that knit backing that is holding my faux fur together. And I should also mention that the cap is one of our projects on our Madcap Hats channel. So you can get the video on how to make it there. And also look in the description below for more information about how to get the pattern. All right, so now you see an obvious direction that the fur wants to lie in. And I'm going to actually sew a little tab on a part of that outer diameter of the circle, with the ends of the tab going into the center of my pom-pom. I'm actually not going to sew there where I'm showing you. I'm going to sew on the other edge where the fur will be nice and underneath, facing away from the seam, so that I don't interfere with the way that the fur wants to lie once I make the pom-pom. I'm using white thread so that you can see what I'm doing. Normally I would use black, and then you wouldn't see this part at all once the pom-pom is finished. Now, depending on how far you want to have your pom-pom secured inside the hat, you can put more of that tab into the center of the pom-pom. I've sewn pretty close to the edge, and now I'm just making a knot, and I'm starting my stitch with my heavy thread. So I'm going to tie a nice strong knot, And I'm going to leave a long end so that I can tie off my thread when I come back all the way around after I finish doing a large gathering type stitch that maybe is about a 1/2 inch or 1.5 centimeters long in and out as I go around the entire edge of the pom-pom. And I'm sewing about 1/4 inch in from the edge, or maybe 50 millimeters or 1/2 centimeter. And you can see as I am gathering the edge, I'm creating a nice bowl that's going to be filled with polyester high loft fill. It's a matter of personal choice too. You don't need to take the same length of stitches that I'm taking. You can take bigger ones. You can take smaller ones. Once you get the hang of it, I'm sure you're going to develop your own technique for making these pom-poms. I'm going to stitch through that little tab right over to the other side. And I'm going to start gathering and filling that bowl with my polyfill. You will quickly get a feel for how much poly you need to use to make that perfect, successful pom-pom. I sort of just smoosh it around to make that one side nice and smooth and push it all together. Tuck it in, pull on the thread, make sure all the ends of the fur are outside of that little cup that's holding our polyfill. And I've tightened it a little bit more, and I'm going to add a bit more polyfill. And if you put too much in, you can always pull some out. Pom-poms are so much fun to make. It's a great project for a young sewer. Now I'm going to pull it as tight as I can, and then I'm going to tie a few knots to hold it in place. And you can see a little bit of my white sewing there, but if it was black sewing, you wouldn't see that. So use the same color of thread as you are using for your fur in your pom-pom. And you can make these pom-poms so much fun too. There's so many really cool furs now on the market. Some that are multicolored, which would be fun. Some that have little sparkly ends. I give it a good shake. Always do that because that'll bring the strands straight out. You can do that when you're wearing your hat too. Just hit your hat on your leg and straighten out your pom-pom. So the pin I'm going to use is about 1.5 inches or 40 millimeters or almost 4 centimeters in length. And it's nice to be able to take that pom-pom off so that you can wash your hat without washing the pom-pom. And also just you get now 2 looks with your one hat, which is awesome. So you're just going to push that tab now into the opening at the top of the hat. It's just a small opening, and you'll see that hand knit hats have a small opening at the top like this very frequently as well, because they're sort of finished in the same way in a lot of cases. So we're going to pull that tab really tight. And then pull that tab out into the center of the wrong side of the hat as far as it will come into the hat. And just catch it a couple of times with the pin. Start on one side of that gathered edge and work your way over to the other. And if you used a piece of ribbon instead of the fabric from your hat project instead, well, you've got a pom-pom that you can probably wear with any hat that has a similar top. And look at that. We just have to pull out some of the little fibers in the pom-pom, give it a shake, and that does the trick. And look, there's absolutely no wobble with that pom-pom. It's perfect. And now we get to see Ileana rock this hat. And yes, she does. She loves it. I love it. And I hope you love it too. Please consider liking this video And please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. We're just getting started. We have so many projects to share with you. So happy sewing, everyone. We will talk to you soon. Comments below if you have them. Links in the description. And thanks for watching. Bye.